Oh yeah, them too. Like we're still on doing warning.
Still warning.
The related content. How are we supposed to be?
Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
This is not me. This is not. This is not my finest hour.
Mm,
I didn't see a goddamn warning content. I didn't know what we were doing.
mm.
That's not true. I did know. Um,
Something is going on here. It's just off.
you still not see, but you can see
No,
the splash
I can
of
see.
color.
Yeah, I can see what it's like.
Like, see, obsessed. Look, this is what happens when you obsessed with stuff.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. All right. Hey, how y'all doing? Me. Yeah,
Oh, me.
yeah.
Okay,
Getting
me.
right. Um, so we got a topic today,
We do have a
and
topic.
it's serious. We joking around, but it is a serious
We're gonna
topic.
be joking around.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't.
I don't.
This is how I handle life.
I don't plan on joking
Oh,
about this
so
topic
sorry.
too
Well,
much.
I do.
Okay. Well.
I'm so sorry because I don't know
Okay.
how to be anybody other than me. Gotta be me. Um, and also I kind of feel like we'll get there. We'll get there. Why I can be like so blase swazi about it because I sent this link to Willie. Um, I sent this link to Willie, and I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I sent it to him, but I wasn't. I just sent it to him. Sent it to him. Like we have a personal one we send to each other, for content for ADHD hour, and we have one we send to with our family on it for the shits, right? Shits and giggles, or just like shit to look at. And when I sent him this one, he's like, "We're talking about this," and I'm like, "Oh wait, did I send it to him the wrong one?" But you felt some kind of way about this, so
Well, I watched the whole video. I watched the
you
original
found
video.
the original?
I watched the
Oh
original.
shit, you
It's
found.
down now. No, I couldn't download because it's down. When
Oh,
I
they
went to
took it
come
down.
back, yeah, they took it. Oh,
Okay,
yes, they took it down.
I
They
don't.
took it down. That
I don't
yes,
blame
it
them.
was disturbing.
But
Yeah.
let's how do we couch this?
I
How do
don't know.
you wanna just talk
So
about it?
so the video that Nicole sent me was from Ab and Preach. It was what it was. I could have been R. Kelly.
Yeah,
That's
it
what
was
it
a
was. That
very
was
good.
that was the label.
It was a label called "I Could Have Been R. Kelly,"
Yeah.
which made me go, "What?" Click.
Mm. What?
What? What? Who did you not know he just got indicted? Like he just got
And you
jail
gonna
time?
and you're gonna
He got jail
admit to
time,
being
right?
like, yeah.
Oh, he got guilty. He didn't get the
No,
jail
no,
time.
he
He
didn't
didn't
get
get
jail.
sentenced
No,
yet.
he didn't get
But
sentenced
he
yet.
got
No, no.
guilty, and I'm like, why would you? I, w- I guess we're dressing up for Halloween, right? There's certain people want to dress up certain ways. It's like, well, I want to be R. Kelly. I don't
No,
know. I don't know. I don't know.
no black man says no black man ever.
Never.
But this man did. So he's
Somewhere
black.
Aaliyah's going,
And
what?
he's black. So
She's looking down from heaven like, what the fuck? Why would somebody say that?
mm-mm.
Don't you watch the news? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But the guy was and I'm gonna play the video in a second. But
You owe the piece from
yeah,
Adam.
well,
Okay.
I'm gonna play the I'm gonna not the video. I'm gonna play the audio because you can hear the audio.
Oh
I
shit.
got audio. I did my editing stuff and audio
Okay.
for
All
what
right.
you know. Anyway,
Hey. All right. I'm
anyway,
impressed.
so the guy was talking about how he's basically not a predator, and R. Kelly is a predator, and how R. Kelly couldn't, I guess, quail or whatever,
Quench.
quench. He's
He had an issue.
he had an issue that he couldn't stop himself from doing it, but he has his under control. That's
Oh, he said that?
oh,
Shut the front
so
door.
yeah. So I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play the audio, and then afterwards I'm gonna tell you what the rest of it is because you have to hear it. Y'all have to hear
Y'all
it
have to hear it
in order
because
to know what I'm talking about. So
you won't believe it until you
yeah,
hear it.
you think there's somebody
You think
trolling?
we're saying this shit. And I'm glad you got the audio because
Mm.
goddamn.
Okay, here we go.
I don't believe R. Kelly's a predator. She has an appetite. I feel that R. Kelly pissed off the wrong person. I don't know what he did, but he pissed off the wrong person, and that launched this investigation. I am a little sympathetic to R. Kelly. I know that sounds really, really crazy, but hear me out. I guess I need to start with what I've done. When I was doing my Craigslist protocols hot and heavy, I would get a ton, I mean, a ton of high school girls answering my ad. And typically I ignored them because even though I have a similar appetite to R. Kelly, women, but I don't like children. This is how a child tricked me. Typically, they would be young. There would be lots of signs that this girl was very, very young. And I would just ignore them. Then this one girl, she answered the ad. We started to talk, and she was an exceptionally mature 17-year-old. Let me say this again. This chick was 17. Her conversation was different. She actually was a hairdresser. And oh my God, she had these amazingly firm double D. That should have been my clue. One of the things that I would do is I would do social media search on all my chicks just out of curiosity. So I'm like doing my social media search and I find her Facebook page and I see her with her high school friends. And I'm like, oh shit. So I call her up and I ask her because, she told me she was 21. That's what she told me. And you cannot unfuck a chick. You can't unfuck her. And I was like, I need you to tell me something. How old are you? And then she got very silent and she said, I'll be 18 in 4 months. Then she also said the age of consent in Georgia is 16, so you're good. She was everything that I liked. And you know what I kept doing? I kept fucking her. At this point, I fucked her 15 times. The crime was done. So I just kept fucking her from she was 17 to 22. R. Kelly and I are similar, but we're very different because I have safeguards. I know when I'm getting out of control. And this is how a lot of young girls end up with older dudes. Their parents are not heavily involved in their lives, where they have the time and the freedom to get away with this stuff. And her parents didn't check her. She'd go out, she'd spend the night out. Her parents were like, she came home alive, cool. Her parents were not on her. So I didn't have to worry about catching a charge from the parents. R. Kelly is being portrayed as a predator, right? Did he hold a gun to these women's heads? And there is something special about fucking a chick who doesn't have a lot of sexual experience. Because everything you do to her is fun. It's all brand new. And if you've got that type of appetite, it can be insatiable. This is the reason that I never got caught, because I never brought anyone else into my circus, so to speak. Remember when I started this video and I told you I had all these high school girls answering my Craigslist ads? Did I have a gun to their head? Did I ask them to reply to my ads? They were searching this out. So this is why I have a problem with the predator label, because they were willing participants in the dynamic. Essentially, I conducted my fuckery in the safe zone. I did stuff I knew I could get away with. Like there was this one girl and she was super cute. And then I did my research on her and saw her pictures of her with her mom and dad, which means her parents were very much involved in her life. And that right there would have been the danger zone, because this is how it happens. She comes over, we fuck, she goes home, her mom and dad press her. He's like, I fucked this old man. And next thing you know, mom and dad call the police. Police knocking at your door. That's how that goes down. So I never put myself in the crosshairs of the danger zone. Young can be fucking amazing. I'm a nobody. That's why I was able to do this stuff and get away with it, because I'm a nobody. The crime was...
Okay. If you're just now joining, we were listening to a video from a gentleman who is saying that he empathizes with R. Kelly. Um, and then he proceeds to like incriminate himself.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can say that. Because I remember when I sent you it initially,
Hmm.
you had said something that was like, "Oh, no, it's not that big a deal," and you didn't hear the rest of it.
Hmm. Yeah, I saw the first part of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first part of it was like, I like girls who are younger, but like legal,
yeah.
right? And then even the story he told was one about the 17-year-old. Like, and let's be honest, in some states,
Yeah. Georgia 17 is legal.
yeah, in some states it's 16. I don't even know if it's younger than that in some other states, but I know 16 is the lowest that I know I can recall. But the fact that he was saying it that way, 17, and like, all right, cool. I was with him on the 17, but everything after that suggests that he went younger than
Yeah.
17.
No, no, he did. There was other stories.
Yeah.
There was other stories
Okay, got it.
on the full video.
Because you can't tell me this man is not. He like the words he's using to incriminate himself.
Yeah, very much so. Even the fact that he says he looks them up.
Yeah,
He does
yeah,
his homework
yeah.
basically. That is straight
Th-
predatory in itself.
and if we take age out of it, which
Mm,
we absolutely cannot, because he
mm,
keeps referring to it in
mm. Yeah.
such a it sounds like a pedophile. His talking,
Yeah.
the way he's referring to this, and the salaciousness that he puts behind having something that's never been touched, or having, you know what I mean? Like,
Deflowering something that's pure,
yes.
basically.
And let's be real, something that's pure, like virginity. Like, I've heard so many stories of people losing their virginity at young ages. So this man, he finds people, he seeks them out from broken homes,
Yeah.
and he sets them up to be what he needs them to be, and then he releases
Then he
them.
releases them in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing that was most telling to me was the fact that he looked for people who were specifically in bad home life
Broken
situations.
homes. Most of them is probably going to be broken home situations to where he knows the parents is not going to be around at a certain time. Maybe a single parent household where the mother be at work a lot of times, and he's able to go in there. And, basically she's not checking for her because she has her own stuff going on, and he's going to have his way
Yeah. And
without recourse.
without recourse.
Mm.
And the very first thing I would say to people um who are beefing with the father of their child, the mother of their child, whatever the case may be, um there's a bigger element out there, a bigger enemy, and then your ex who didn't do right by you, who was dirty, who's this,
Mm.
who this and that and third, and y'all got to keep your eye on the prize, and the prize is the kid.
Use the children. Hmm.
um they talk about, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Hmm.
Y'all need to identify the true enemy in this situation, because this man, that's a fucking enemy. When I tell you, when I tell you, I was sitting here listening to this, and I heard this before, and I'm still like, my mouth is wide open, because I like, he is saying this like this is the absolute most normal thing ever.
Yeah.
That guy from the other week ago, the one who was talking about,
Cheaters. Yeah.
yes,
Master cheater.
yes,
Yeah.
the master cheater. He was like, he was more like tongue in cheek. Like, I
Mm.
believe that
Yeah.
could be a joke.
Yeah.
This dude is saying this like,
No, no, no. He tells story. Like I said, I saw the whole thing. I'm sitting like, man. First of all, how is this still up on the internet? Because
he
basically what
still
he's
has
doing,
a page.
he's giving. I didn't even know that, but that whole video doesn't. It just says it's not shown. But that thing is that is like he's giving instructions to other predators out there. That's what it seems like. Like I was telling a friend of mine, it's like you remember that skit that thing Dave Chappelle did when he was Tyrone Biggums. He was a drug
Yes.
dealer. I mean,
Yes.
the crackhead, and he was like, "You could get the best shit from." That's what it's like he was doing. He was telling other predators how not to get caught, and that was disturbing to me. It's like, okay, you're sharing your stories, which is like three different stories he shared, and each one got progressively worse. And he's telling them, "No, this is how I don't get caught, or I don't get fall in a trap, or get I never had to deal with the cops."
He said he makes sure that they don't call the police because some old man messing with. his kid. And like, let's be clear, like 30 first off isn't old. That means you're messing with some young
Mhm.
things, something young. You like, mm, that put a bad taste in my mouth watching that. Um and but I have to say, like, I sent this, but I wasn't really, it didn't bother me
Mhm.
as much as I felt like it bothered you. Cause it's like, for me, it's par for the course. I've met people like that my entire life, even when I was a child. Like, I've met men like that, and like, um, some of them had that smooth grooming tactic.
Mhm.
I remember this one guy, and Mama met, Mama knew him. Like, we used to see him all the time. He used to work at the Walgreens.
Mhm.
And we come in, he'd be like, "Oh, my favorite family, this, that, and the third." And he'd give me a hug, and he'd be like, dap, Michael up, and he'd be like, "Oh, la la la," the whole nine. It was just like, oh, it was great to see him. I thought he was like a nice guy, right? And then I turned 17, and then he was like, "We should go out for a date." I'm like, "The fuck, the fuck." Right? And I mean, I guess there's something to be said that he waited until I was 17, but to me, that was just gross.
No, he was watching. He was watching you
Yeah.
get come up, and as soon as he had his mind on, as soon as she get a certain age, hey, that's what it is.
Yes. And so, like, to me, that's a lesser level of grooming, but
Mhm.
still grooming all the same, right?
Mhm.
Like, oh, this nice man who's da 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 da, still he just didn't do a good job
I'm
at
gonna
it.
stay in the friend zone. Basically, I'm gonna stay
Yes.
cool and close to the family, so I could. It'd be easy for me to cross over
Hmm.
to. I got her trust basically because Mama trusts me, the
Yes.
brother trusts me,
Yes.
so you know.
And I never see her around her father. I
Mhm.
never, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, it's like that stuff does matter. I
Hmm.
will say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's because I've had people approach me, and it's like, and I say this about fathers, but I mean a strong father figure, uncles, a strong uh uh father figure, brothers, like those kind of things, or even like cousins or anybody, like a
Mhm.
strong male
A
figure
male figure that they see you
in a
with.
female's life,
Mhm.
or a strong female figure in a male's life will make all the difference in the world, between whether or not that shit makes sense. Because I was like, that it makes sense to me. You old as fuck.
Mhm.
You was old. You old. You about to die. And like, but there'd be multiple people. I remember there was this guy who stayed next door to my best friend's house.
Mhm.
Younger dude. He might have been early 30s, maybe late 20s.
Mhm.
And he single guy. And I was walking, and I wasn't around her. I was walking. And I was 14, and he stopped to talk to me, and I was like, "Excuse me, I'm 14." And he's like, "What? I'm so sorry." La 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 la. Like, he was just apologetic while he's like trying to drive off. He's like, "I don't know how to handle this." And then from that point on, if I would buy her house and he was leaving the house, one time he saw me, he was coming out the door, and he was like, "Close the door." Like, he's
Like
like,
Homer Simpson.
it's like, he was like, "Nope."
No, you ain't gonna get me caught up. Mm-mm.
Uh-uh.
Mm-mm.
And it was like, that was the contrast, but
Mm.
it was like important to see that he was like, he made the distinction, but also I look young, I presented young.
Yeah.
So the fact that we also have to take a look at what we find and deem to be attractive, and we
Mhm.
have to ask ourselves those questions, right?
Mhm.
We have to ask ourselves those questions about, what do I find attractive about a woman?
Mhm.
um and if it's the fact that you can get over on her because she's young and she's innocent and she's this thing, oh, I'm sorry, that she's young and she's innocent, that means she's going to be young,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? Like, I mean, like, she's youthful and she's innocent, she's going to be young. um but w- if he was talking about a 20-year-old the same way, would you have felt as uncomfortable about it? Like, if he's like, I mess with 20-year-olds, but the fact that they're young and look, they come from bad homes and da 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 da. Like, he still was being very
Yeah.
predatory.
I would have felt a little bit less. I mean, I still would have been like, okay, this is predatory. It's still the nature of it's predatory, but okay, she's legal, and why not even wait to 21? You legal that y'all could do things like y'all go out for drinks and do stuff. Adult stuff that is actually adult. Versus, what are you saying? It was like, okay, the girl told him she was 21, but then I do not believe
I
that.
don't
I
believe
don't
she
believe
did.
that at all. I don't believe it.
Because he says he has, that's the other part. I forgot about that. He said he has a
Insatiable
system in
urge.
place.
Yeah, that's the
Oh, I
yeah
don't talk
system is
about that damn insatiable
insatiable
urge.
urge.
Oh, so
Yeah, he has a
uncomfortable.
system in place, which means this is your norm.
Yes.
This is what you do.
And so if you had, but if he did have a system in place, wouldn't his system be like to check his Facebook and see? He knew that girl was young.
Oh yeah, yeah. He
He
knew
knew
all the time.
exactly what
Yeah,
it was.
he knew.
And that's why he's trying to say that, like, there's certain things people try to say to try to fix things, right?
She tricked me.
I remember R. Kelly having an interview one time, and he's like, "Do you like young girls?" And he said, "How young we talking?"
What you mean by young? What you mean by young?
And when he said that shit, I was like, "Wow." He was like, I mean, like the fact that he didn't understand that that's not an appropriate thing to say is amazing to me. It was.
Even if he would have said, even if he said, I like legal women. I like legal women.
Let me
You
ask you a
know.
question, Willie.
Yeah.
Have you ever used any of those terms in a sentence?
What?
Any of that?
Which,
Like, I like legal.
no,
Like,
I haven't. But
you
I'm
know
just saying.
why? Because you don't
Yeah.
use those things.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
if you got, like, that's the kind of shit you try to do to not incriminate
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
Like, allegedly, she's of age. She's like, it's just weird.
Yeah.
But
Very.
why? Like, to me, it seemed like you've never heard people refer. You never heard in locker talk guys talk about young women, like
No.
young girls.
No.
Never.
No. And that's what like people like there's memes and people be putting out stuff, y'all don't men don't, don't try to out the rapists and all this other stuff. I don't be around
I
people
saw
like
that
that.
meme.
I don't be around people like that. I don't be around dudes anyway like that. I have a select
Team.
small group of friends and I know they're not like this, anybody I come into contact, I mean, and any one of my friends will tell you I'm the first to do something, period. I'm gonna do something. I'm not just gonna talk about it, I'm gonna do something. So for me to be around them people, it's gonna put me in a bad situation. So I don't try to have a lot of group of people in my vicinity because if I see something I got to do it. I can't just sit there and watch shit happen or hear about it and not do something about it. I'll go full inspector mode and shit. I'll be setting up cameras and shit around a person's house
Mm.
and putting up bugs in the person, breaking the person out, all that shit. Hey Ashley, what's
Hey,
up? What's
Ashley.
up? Ashley, hey, y'all go check Ashley out. Black Girl Interrupted.
It made a year.
Yeah, it made a year. Yeah,
Mhm.
she celebrated a year anniversary with Black Girl Interrupted, and she's on Clubhouse. She's been on Clubhouse. That's what she's been
Dope.
at. That's why we haven't seen her.
Her conversations are very real. Like we're touching on a serious conversation right now, but we tend to be with the shits. Her stuff be real, real. It's about healing. It's about helping. It's about getting better. So take a look at it. Um, right now, we're talking about being predators and grooming people. Um, Willie was just talking about how his team isn't his team doesn't lend to, like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've heard men talk about women.
Mm.
I've heard.
No, about women. I've heard to talk about women, but not about
No, I'm talking
like
about in that way.
okay. What
In
you mean
that way,
grooming? Like
like grooming kind of way.
okay,
Yeah, like they'll get a 16-year-old.
hmm
Like um it'll be a 20-year-old with a 16-year-old, right? And it's like, oh, it's not that big a difference. No, she's young. There's a reason why he's messing with her because she's young. I remember I went out with this guy. He was 28, and he had a kid. This is the reason why I stopped, because he had a kid, and he was quick to try to make a plan with me that he already had plans with his kid, and he's gonna blow off his kid. Which,
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah, which that
Damn.
was for me.
No. Yeah.
And I had said
Yeah.
something about it. He's like, "Well, look at you talking like you grown." I said, "How old do you think I am?" And he's like 19.
Mm.
And I'm like, "I'm 24."
Okay. Yeah. So that's what he looked for.
And I was like, "Why wouldn't you?" I
Mm.
said, "Why would you want to mess with somebody that young?"
Mm.
I tell you, he never called me again.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Yo, old ass, yo,
Mm.
old wrinkled ass,
Mm-hmm.
wrinkled ass,
Mm.
boom, boom."
Mm.
Like,
6 more years getting gray hair on you.
yeah, like, but there are people who
Yeah.
exist like
Yeah.
that.
No,
And
I know they exist, but I'm just saying I've never been in the presence. That's what I'm saying. You know, like that meme said, y'all men don't, when y'all hear men, I don't hear that shit. I don't.
well, it's you, but as a general
Well,
rule,
I can't speak for other men
but
though.
but what I'm saying, in a general rule,
Mhm,
that still holds to be true. I understand you didn't get hit with it,
mhm.
but that doesn't mean that it doesn't change the fact that men are more likely. In fact,
I don't think men would talk to other men about that because they're not they're
No,
not.
but the way they is locker room talk, man. I fucked her. You know, like I can't
Yes,
fuck these chicks out here. I ain't gonna never get. I ain't gonna never get like she ain't gonna be a virgin. I want a virgin. If I'm gonna get a virgin, I get
I
something
don't
else.
know no guys that want virgins.
Oh,
That's
I
that.
do.
I don't know any men like that
I've
because
met them.
like okay, give me a professional. Hey, give me somebody.
I
Give me.
agree with you, but that's
I
the
don't want.
difference.
Yeah, no.
That's the difference.
Ashley said men are shamed for speaking out,
I don't feel like they're ashamed. I feel like attracts like.
and maybe that's what it is. I mean, if you think that way, yeah, they feel comfortable to talk to you like that. That's
Hmm.
why I said I don't know. I've never heard that before
Yeah,
because guys,
people need permission
yeah, they need permission. That's what it
to
is.
be able to be themselves
Yeah.
in front of people, so
So
they're
that's
not
why I
gonna
didn't.
say this.
That's why I didn't like that whole meme. Was like, nah, I don't believe that because you have to have permission first in order to come out like that. Because the dude to
But
check
those
another
people are
dude,
just as grimy, though.
but
So the
yeah.
circle that you hang around, you just said your circle.
Well, I've
Your
been in.
circle
I mean,
isn't
I've been
doesn't
in
do that.
high school. I've been in gyms. I've been in, played basketball for a long time. I've never, I've
I
been
also
all
feel like
around New Orleans playing ball.
I also feel like you don't focus on stuff.
No, if
Like,
I hear something, I'm gonna come on now. I'm
well,
not
I mean,
clueless.
well, I'm not saying
Oh,
you're
oh,
clueless. I'm saying like you don't be in everybody's business.
nah, I
Like
don't.
as a
But
female, I
certain
walk the
things,
day.
you hear it, and it's just like, okay, what the
Well,
fuck is,
yeah, there's certain
it's certain things.
certain
Yeah,
Pee
no,
Wee Herman type statements. You'd be
yeah,
like, "What the fuck just
yeah, dude.
happened?"
Hey, what the fuck is wrong with you, man?
Yeah, but
That type of shit.
some of them don't be that gritty.
And it might be you might be walking a tightrope basically.
Yeah, some
Okay,
of it
and
don't
to
be
see
that
what,
gritty.
yeah, and it might be that
Like,
I agree. It might be to where they say something that's right there on the edge just to try to gauge your response to see how far they could go.
yeah,
That could be it. And maybe I was clueless to that.
yeah.
Not getting that part of it.
Um, I get, but that's a discussion to be had about your responsibility in what, like, I guess because like I've been a female all these years and I've heard all this stuff, and this is why I go as hard as I do with my nieces. Like they like don't tell T Cole this happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, bitch, I
Mm-hmm.
would like
Mm-hmm.
because I know what it's like if they see somebody who doesn't have a father, if they see I remember a guy saying that he's like, you don't have anybody. You think you'd be happy to get something. I'm like, bitch, I might not have, you know what I mean? Like they'll use these things
Mm-hmm.
against them.
Yeah.
I can't
Think they're missing male attention, male love, and weasel their way in just to
they'll figure a way. I mean, predators will find a way to do it. And we're talking about females, but we're not alluding. Like, here's my biggest problem that I have, and I still have this problem. When people talk about boys in a different light, when a grown ass woman fucks a little boy, and it seemed as a pat on the back, I'm like,
no, yeah,
that
it's
bitch
yeah.
needs to be punched in the fucking face too.
A
She needs
woman
to.
just had a baby by a student. I think the boy was like 12.
Willie, that's par for the course.
I
Like in
mean,
Florida, was that in Florida too? Because Florida's the number one place
probably
they do
because
it.
I've heard about that in Florida, and I was like, wow, Florida, wow. Because I like
Florida's wilding.
when they had the Yahoo Messenger and stuff before all the social media shit was popping off. Right at the beginning when the Yahoo Messenger, I was on the messaging somebody and they was in Florida. It was the other people's, and she was talking about how she was a freak and this, that, the other, and her and her sister do stuff and the dog, and I'm like, what the hell? Okay,
Okay, we went different.
let me get the hell up off this. Yeah,
Boo.
yeah. You got mail? Nope, I don't.
Not that
Mm-mm,
bell.
mm-mm.
I had a situation like I used to do some volunteer work. I did a lot of volunteer work back in the day. I ain't shit today, but back then I did a lot of volunteer work. And one of them was like this group I came up with for my friend. It's called the Wrinkle Hearts Club. The whole point is like the premise of you take a sheet of paper and that paper represents somebody
Mm.
that you engage with,
Yeah.
and how you treat that sheet of paper is how you treat it, and you can never get it back
Yeah,
to
if
the
you
way it
balled it up, you
was.
can never.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the whole premise of it. And so I used to help out with that. And there was this woman who helped out with it too. This- Like this, it's important for the story. Race doesn't play a role in everything, but for this story, it does. This is a white woman
Mhm.
at a black school. And I remember being there early to help set up, and somebody said, "Hey, Miss So and So, here I meant to bring this back to you." It was a dude, little boy, came and had this like DVD, or some bootleg DVD that she got, whatever the thing like that. And she's like, "Oh yeah, whatever." He's like, "Well, I need a key to the thing," and the way she was being so familiar with this kid,
Like very handsy and stuff on his back and
it,
stuff.
it was just there was like it was I, there was maybe it was just me. Maybe sometimes I feel things and I'm like I can't put a word on it. Whatever. I just remember telling my friend, I said that bitch touching that kid. Like, watch her. Something wrong with her. She's like, no, no, no. She's so great. She's so this. I said, she's so great. She follows the rules. Then why she get that boy a bootleg DVD? That's grounds to be fired right there. Like, if she's willing to break that, something wrong with, you know what? I said what I had to say, go about my business. Turns out she was fucking him.
Oh,
She was fucking him. The girlfriend of the boy
found out.
found out and told everybody. And instead of them calling the police, they just made her resign and she moved to
Forced to
Tampa.
resign. Move somewhere else.
She moved to Tampa. She's a teacher in Tampa. And I was like, when it happened, I was like, why? Because I remember my friend telling me about it, and she was so blasé about it. Like it was just like, oh, what really bad happened? What really bad happened?
Mhm.
He was taken advantage of, whether he wanted it or not. He was still taken advantage of. And let me say this: as a fox, as a good-looking woman, okay. I don't like. There's nothing wrong with being wanted. But I had a homegirl of mine. She's a stripper,
Mm-hmm.
right? Gorgeous,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely gorgeous woman. And uh, there's nothing wrong with being wanted, but if you keep being taken advantage of, if you keep people keep taking stuff from you, eventually it takes a toll.
Mm-hmm.
So even that boy who's just, all he cares about is sex and hormones and raging and this, that, and the third, eventually it takes a toll. This grown woman took something from him that she shouldn't have taken. And in the end, if the sexes were reversed, people would be outraged. So what does that tell that boy?
Yep, and that also goes to the whole double standard. I mean, just the whole double standard period of
But the
yeah, the
value we
value
place on
of
you.
young men.
Yeah.
Yeah, of young men. Yeah, and there's a statement that says men have to make their value. Women are
Are assigned
automatically a value. They're automatic. What the hell is that? Women are automatically has value, where men has to make themselves valuable, and that's one of the things that prove it. You're not worth anything, and
Especially in this case. I mean, I
yeah,
don't know if I believe that statement all the way around, but especially in this case, when it comes to sex,
mm,
yeah, I would
yeah,
definitely say
sexual,
that.
does it? Yeah.
I would definitely say that because men, like anything can happen to a man. Even if we're talking about man on man, the likelihood of something happening, and like that gentleman who in California, who had sex with all them young boys,
Mm-hmm.
and then the boys died of a drug
Yeah,
overdose.
yeah.
And granted, the sex is consensual, but they were underage, so it's still statutory rape. And he gave them drugs. So this was virtually people who were addicted to drugs, taken advantage
He
of.
gave them drugs in order so they get addicted, so you could take advantage of them sexually.
Yes. And so, like, the empathy that we don't have for children. And I say this as general, like if you take a look at the court system, when it comes to when it comes to killing people, the value of life is placed at a lesser rate when it comes to children, not babies for some reason, because
No,
I
no. When it
mean,
comes to
that's a
children
Republican
of
thing.
color, no, no. Mm-mm.
Well,
Children of
children,
color.
well, yeah, but children, if we're talking about just in general,
Okay.
adults, like males, females, adults, children, like there's a different value placed. And when you compare adults to children, the value is lesser for children than it is for adults. So when you get into the colors, then yes, it does change as well. Or you get in a socioeconomic situation
It
too, and
changes
then it
too. Yeah.
changes as well. But
Because when you saying adults, that's not the truth. Because when you got white, it goes like this: white woman, white man,
mm-mm,
children,
switch it.
black woman.
Talking
You
about
think
court,
black men? No, no, I'm talking. No, I'm talking about if something happens to them.
like a
How?
court of law. If we're talking about murder, it's a white man, white woman. The argument to me, you can
So,
lump
so,
all the black people together. It really does not
so,
matter.
so, what I'm saying is like, okay, let's say, okay, you talking about murder. I'm saying just in general, period. Because if somebody go missing, right,
Hmm.
that white woman is they gonna go
Oh, that's a different
and
situation. Yeah,
and and I
they're
think
gonna go
all
out. They're
that
gonna go
too.
out.
So it goes like that: white woman, white man.
I mean, if somebody's missing,
Yeah.
it's probably women. It's like
Well,
it's
white
more
girls,
women.
white girl, yeah, women, yeah,
It's more
yeah,
women, less men,
yeah,
and
and then it goes back up the scale to where little kids. When you go from one to say the little black kids, then you go black women. Might get a little something, and black
Well,
men
if
are
you're
like,
talking about missing and stuff, like women get
yeah,
no,
or
like the different
yeah,
rules apply to different things.
yeah,
But if you're
different
talking
things.
about
Yeah,
missing, and
yeah,
you're talking about like
yeah, sexual. Yeah,
sexually exploited people, they look more as they think of women.
women.
When
Yeah,
when you see the sexually exploited ads on TV or on billboards and stuff, it's women on there, and they don't even think about men.
yeah,
But boys
but
are
yeah,
exploited just as much as
just as
women.
much.
Like people have an appetite for. I have never fucking used that.
Insatiable
I have
appetite
never used that shit in a
for
sense.
little
I'm like, this
boys.
man sounds
Yeah, sick.
sick.
That was some sick. Yeah.
Oh my god! And let me be clear. I've always felt this way. If my family love them to death, I won't fuck with you.
Mhm,
Like that's the stand I choose to take. Like I don't know who his people are. The fact that they even do. I don't care if you got money or not have money. I don't fuck with you.
mhm.
My the way I'm built is that I have some kind of principles, and my principles have cost me a lot of money in the past, and they're gonna continue to cost me a lot of money because I'm not about to sit here and lose my soul because of this bullshit. Like this man is sick. Like, and I'm not just him. Like I said, I've seen women like that woman, like because I still had to work with her before that all that stuff popped off. I never dealt with her after that. Mm-mm. Never. She would say something to me. I just look at her. I just didn't like it. I also like there's the exploitation factor of children, and then there's the exploitation factor of just being the black experience. Oh, little Jamal, let
Mhm,
me get a little nook, put the little thing on him, and I can feel like, you know, I can feel like I'm getting the black experience through the white
yeah,
lens or whatever.
through
Mm-mm.
BBC and
Ugh,
that,
as a child.
yeah.
As a
But
child. That's the part that I understand. I
okay,
can never see.
what is the trope about black men?
I
The
don't.
trope about black men, period, is the trope to where they look at black men sexually and they hold
Don't
them
make
as white men.
amazing Debbie daddies.
Yeah, that might be one of them. So stupid ass. Dog. I can have a child for him, and I'm gonna have experience. Look at me, got the black experience. Dog.
Side note. I remember that happened. All right, so this is a way side note, but I'm still gonna do it.
Mm,
This woman, I used to hate when people like at this college I went to in Louisiana, which was very diverse. And diverse is a great way to say racist.
mm,
And so this woman, white woman, she would come up, she would always come up to me, and it's like she was fucking with me. And she'd be like, oh, black women got so much mouth. That's why Jamal, like, and like, I ain't gonna say his name, but she's like, the guy she was messing with, that's why Jamal, he don't like messing with y'all because y'all just do da 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 da. He prefers white women because white women know how to treat a man and la la la. I'm like, bitch, why you telling me? I ain't say this because I'm like, I feel like she want me to get out of pocket. But
mm,
I'm like, oh, okay, oh, okay, okay. Well, Jamal got her pregnant.
mm.
And then she became a black woman real quick.
Jamal, why you not doing that for your baby, Jamal?
And then, all right, because look, I ain't built that way. I really don't kick people while they down. I
Mm,
don't. But a part of little devil on my shoulder was like, hey, you should go talk to her and be like, hey, what happened with the black man and the white woman and the black woman? I wanted to say that. I'm like, I wanted to be like, let the lesson be that bad people are bad
bad
people,
people. Mm,
independent of color.
mm.
And you just had an ain't shit person. Point blank period. That's all I wanted to say. It brought me joy. I'm still smiling about it. I ain't shit. Um,
You're not a good person.
I'm not. Fuck it. Fuck it. Um, so I didn't want to gloss over the fact that boys have their experience
Mm,
too.
mhm.
And they're never even allowed. They're never given a voice to say something because if they say it, people call them punks.
Yeah,
People call them all kind of stuff. Um, uh, B2K.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
B2K, I can't think of his name right now. Or is it Pretty Ricky?
Let's speak to care.
It was B2K.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they talked about them being sexually assaulted and being groomed and the whole
Mm-hmm.
nine, and everybody laughed at him because he was
Yeah,
having mental issues, and it's like, oh, he crazy, he crazy. Could he be crazy because this shit happened to
because
him?
stuff happened to him in the industry.
Yeah, like if you think as an adult that you live the current life you live, working the job you work, where you go through all this bullshit, you got all these stories about these people trying you and this, that, and the third, and blah, 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 and all this racist stuff and all this what sexist or whatever the case may be stories. What do you think a child goes through who works? A child who works the same kind of like they have to answer to people.
Mhm.
People are moving them around. They don't have the same bandwidth that we have as adults to
Mhm.
be able to and even as adults sometimes we don't even have the right authority to say no.
So what you're trying to say is just think about adults being like how Weinstein did adults, right?
Yes.
And then put children in that situation that don't have a real voice. They just like, okay, you have to do this, you do that, and okay, you're a child, so you're gonna listen because you want to get this money because now your family is looking at you. You have your parents and everything that's eating
You have
off
something
you.
to lose.
So now you're thrust in adulthood to where like you don't have no solid foundation, no solid,
And the
line
parents
to be like, okay, I'm not doing this. I'm not, this is what I'm not doing.
and the parents who's
So,
supposed to protect
yeah,
you have skin in the game
it was
too.
yeah, it's all
So
about the
they're
money.
willing to risk you.
Mhm.
Or maybe they didn't
They
know,
might
or
not
maybe
know.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I'm not trying to say the fault. I'm saying the fault is to blame on a lot of parties, and
Mhm.
including the parents. What I will say is the fault is never the child's fault. But if
No.
you go through all of that as an adult, all these people as an adult said that they were coerced, forced, groomed, blah blah blah. What do you think children are going through? And that gentleman, I can't think of his name. I remember every time he came on, I felt so bad for him. I felt so bad for him because I know he was telling the truth.
Mhm.
And you know why I know he was telling the truth? Because he never got sued.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, yeah. There's no defamation of character. There's nothing.
Nothing.
No.
Nothing at all. And everybody just ignored him. And black community, that's a problem. I'm not talking look, I ain't white, I ain't Spanish, I ain't none of those things. So like I'm not Catholic, although I've heard about y'all too. Y'all need to come to
Mm-mm.
reckoning as well.
No, they know. No, they know. They had a whole documentary. I was at a hotel somewhere. I think I was working or something, and I was up late at night. And there was a documentary, a whole documentary, how they moved priests around because they did whatever. And I'm like, what the?
Yes.
And it was. It gets worse. These weren't no regular little boys. These were boys that were deaf and stuff, and they had special needs kids. They had this altar boys. They couldn't really tell people anything.
Well, that was the next step, right? So what ends up happening is, and this is sad, right? This is sad, like that. This is the case.
Mm,
Uh friend, my friend is from an island,
mm,
and she used to tell me a story about how um she went to Catholic school and how when she went into the Catholic school, they have how they have like what's the word like where you meet a student who goes to the school and they give you a rundown of the school, they introduce you and that kind of stuff.
mm,
So she met with, and so she orientation,
mm,
orientation where they met with a student. The student showed them around. So literally in the orientation, they said, "Hey, if you're a girl, stay away from father so, father so,
mm.
father so, father. The boys, y'all need to stay away from father so and so, and that's it. If they catch you by yourself, run. That's it." And I'm like, that should not be
Yeah,
something you
yeah.
have to tell people.
No, yeah, nor you shouldn't, as adults, as men of the clergy, you should not be. You,
Oh,
you
they
should
do it
be
all the time.
speaking out of your mouth. Why are we like? Why are we saying this? Why are we even?
And when
Get
they
rid of
find out,
father so and so.
they move
Hey,
them.
yeah, and they move them
And they
somewhere
move them
else.
to
Yeah.
places like the islands, Black
Where they're black,
Islands,
where they're black people,
or the
where they
continent of Africa.
Hispanic people,
Yeah,
either
well, yeah.
black or Hispanic people.
And what they're just
Um,
gonna let them get away with it
yeah,
until the
where they
next
where they
scandal.
yeah. So something happened. Raz B is the guy's name.
Rasby,
Yeah.
yes, Rasby, and I felt so bad. And I'm not sitting here trying to like. Your story is your story to tell. I don't believe he should have outed the other people,
Mm,
but at the same time, goddamn, like you're a
yeah,
child.
yeah.
And you're a boy. And so you can't talk about how a man took advantage of you and what they did when all this other it's hard to even have
Yeah,
this
not in our
conversation.
community.
Not in our
Yeah,
community, no. So I mean, like the religious community, I don't understand it. I don't understand how anybody can put their child in a position because they want to be in a position of power. So the altar boy is supposed to give them some kind of clout. I don't get it.
what are you getting? Free crackers, more crackers, and blood of Jesus. What the extra blood of Jesus?
Oh no. So communion,
You
communion
get to go to
swag.
communion 2 times or 3 times.
You get communion swag.
Mm,
I don't know. I don't like what I do know is I can't tell you like the I can't tell you as an adult how many times I've been placed in a position where I should have called like I could have placed a claim against somebody, and but I knew nothing would happen.
Hmm.
I knew nothing would happen. I'm a black woman. They would have looked at me and been like, "Oh, hmm." And it would have done like white women tell people, "Don't nothing happen."
Hmm.
Like, so the position of that, and then it's like, all right, I would lose my job. I remember one time I actually did lose a contract. Like, I lost a guy. I swear to God, this happened. I have not, this is not an exaggeration. This is a white man. He looked like Luigi from Mario Brothers. And he used to follow me around.
Hmm.
Just follow. He's like, "You're so beautiful. You're so this." And I'm like, "Oh, the first time it was all right, thank you." Second time I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet." Third time I was like, "Nigga,
Leave me the fuck alone.
yeah, like." And he used to like, "Oh, we should go hang out. We should do this." "Oh, like I can't. It's contract. You're the this." I try to set
Conflict of interest.
very good boundaries between people. It's conflict interest.
Mm.
I'm the contractor. I don't want to create a situation where it makes it harder for me to do my job. He got me fired. He said that I came on to
You
him.
was hitting on him. You was
Mm-hmm.
hitting on that man.
Mm-hmm.
You want his goodies.
So like the world's a small place. Come back around, whatever. I lost the contract, but I ended up working for the actual company. And I ended up working in the same region, and now I'm in a position of power. And I asked somebody who was there during that time about what happened, and they were like, "Oh, he ended up getting a case of sexual harassment against him, and he
Mm.
ended up getting fired." And he's like, he was doing that to a lot of people. He said there was this one contractor he was doing that to, and he got her fired. I was like, "Word? Uh, wonder what happened to her." Like,
Mm.
like that's the shit.
He was talking about you.
Yeah, it's talking about me. They was like,
What happened to that hoe?
yeah, like, but the fact that it takes all of that to take down one person,
Mm.
all of that, all of those people, like, and here's the thing: don't feel sorry for me, like from the standpoint of I was out on the corner sucking dick or something like that after that because I needed the money. No, I had other contracts, but who's to say?
No, feel sorry for the ones that actually went through with that and and had to deal with them.
Or the people who lost their job and had kids
Yeah,
they had to
yeah,
take care of.
true.
Or, who's to say what could have happened? Like, just because I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna leave this contract. I got other contracts. I'm fine. But and the toll it took on me, it was really problematic. That whole contract was really problematic for me. My homegirls helped me down on that contract because it was like, what the fuck? Another dick pic?
Mm.
What the fuck? Like, it was
Was the
just
one
like,
where they did the pink panties,
yes.
pink drawers, dude?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. That wasn't the only one. It was just multiple. It was just like sexual harassment after sexual harassment. I'm like, what the fuck? And when you like, it's just, and the problem is, it causes the person and who's experienced it. I can only imagine the person who's actually been assaulted, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the person who's been approached and who's been unfairly treated in a certain kind of way, it forces you to tear yourself apart, right?
Yeah.
Like,
What's
like
wrong with me?
well,
Yeah.
no,
What
I
am I
actually
doing? What
started
am
to
I
tell
doing there?
you.
Yeah.
I started to say to you, look, and Willie, I wasn't even like dressing wild. I wasn't even doing, you know what I mean? I started to do that and I shouldn't have to.
Mm.
But that's the way it goes because you
Yeah.
start saying, well, I didn't deserve it. Let me show you why I didn't deserve it. No, you just didn't deserve it.
Mm.
You could have been walking around there butt ass
Yeah,
naked. You
half
just
naked
didn't deserve it.
in Lizzo fashion, and they didn't. I'm
Ah,
sorry. Yeah,
look,
I'm
we talked
sorry.
about that before the show started.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
And I have to give him credit because I was like, people are hating on Lizzo because she had the outfit on. And there's like, she's a big girl. I'm just hating on her because I didn't like the outfit. The outfit wasn't cute. It just wasn't cute. It was like loose on the arm. It was just like it wasn't cute. It could have been cute. His thing is he just thinks that it's a lot for women to show
Women
no
shouldn't.
into
Yeah.
in any size woman. So I'm like, all right, props. I give you that. Keep that same energy for everybody. But for me, I just wanted her to pick a nice outfit. Like big girls dress nice. But it's just, it's not ain't got nothing to do with being big. It's just that thing was like a bag on her. That's how I felt. Um, yeah.
While you
That's,
talking about that, just keep going. I'm about to show you something while you
oh
talking.
Lord. Um, um, what was the other thing I was gonna mention? Oh, so what do you do about it, right? Like, I know I said in the beginning we're talking about like having kids. Like, I heard kids are hard. I heard they like have a lot of uh it's fucked up. He can't even show that to y'all. That's fucked up. He wrong for putting that on the show, and he can't even share it. That's fucked up.
Mm.
Um, uh, we have kids that are the innocent parties in this, right? And kids. That's why I say not just women or men, and
Mm.
boys and girls. Kids are an innocent party in this, and we have to start putting our egos on the side and say, how do we parent these kids?
Mhm.
How do we do this? My brother just showed me something. Somebody I know who is going through custody with this guy for the baby, and they're about to, like, these people decided to have a baby. They didn't go through any mediation. They didn't go through any counseling to figure out anything. Is a same sex couple and another guy. They didn't do any of these things. And look, it's not my job to judge that life. I'm just saying the areas for improvement are, don't make a decision to bring a baby in this world when you don't even know the partners. It's bad enough when you marry somebody. You don't really know your partner when you marry them. You're just doing the best you can. Um,
But don't bring a kid in that you don't have anything figured out. You have no plans, nothing. Just like, oh, we're gonna have a baby. Even if you're married, if you
yeah,
know
yeah.
you don't, and it's not gonna save your marriage. That's the first thing. Stop doing
Dad,
shit to try to save a marriage. What?
dad.
What? I,
You know
Father,
that's what
that's not me. Father,
that's what Daddy said, right?
this father, that's not me.
That's what the fourth kid was.
Oh, oh, Father, that's not me. That's not me. I didn't say it. Um, but I mean, it's not going to save your marriage, and we just bring kids in this world too loosely. It's like, okay, yeah, let's have a kid, like it's an accessory or something. These
I just
kids
don't
are.
understand the fascination with not having a vasectomy. I get raw
Mm,
dogging. I
mm,
get it, right? For men, I get raw. I don't get it for women, but I get raw dogging for men, right?
mm,
Unless you're allergic to latex, I
mm.
get that then. But for men,
Sheepskin, they got other. Yeah.
yeah, but like, yeah, unless you're allergic to something like that. But for what men, I get it. But get a vasectomy.
Mm.
Why don't you do it? Why did the need to spread your seed can't be that great? It can't be that great that you're sitting here and you're willing to do nothing about it.
Well, I think for some of the dudes like hood dudes or whatever, or some of the lesser, some those that just follow their urges, is like, this makes me a man. That they look at as what makes a man because they can have as many kids. Um,
But take care of them.
yeah,
Okay,
mhm,
fine.
yeah,
Like, cause I mean, I feel the same way about Nick Cannon.
mhm,
Take care of him.
yeah,
Like, just
yeah.
because you can afford to have a kid doesn't mean
That you should do it.
that you should do it.
Mhm.
I mean, because all those kids spread. Like, it'd be different if Nick Cannon had 7 children by the same
But same
woman.
woman, yeah,
It'd
yeah,
be a different conversation. That's
yeah.
only one house you got to travel to, and da, da, da. Keep knocking that one down.
Mhm.
Knock her down. Oh, you want to make one more? Knock her down. Like, she'd just be your designated baby
He's doing
mama.
an experiment, like you know I'm gonna get this type of girl. This let's see what he's breeding himself like
He's a
a pit
bull.
bull, like a
He's like a bull.
yeah, just breeding himself with different breeds.
Whatever.
Mm.
I
Trying to make a desire in the kids or some shit. What the?
just realized what you said. He's so
Oh, you didn't
stupid.
understand?
I didn't understand
Okay,
that.
you didn't understand the analogy. Okay, now you get it.
I do.
Okay, you all right?
Pitbull. This is a German schnitzel. Uh,
Schnitcherdoodle.
um, like we have to hold ourselves accountable, and in the end of the day, uh, I don't care what anybody says. Like, if you talk to me, I'll be the first one to tell you you failed your child. I'm gonna
Mhm.
look you dead in your eye and say you failed your child because you had opportunities to make a better situation. You had, yeah, he's a fucking asshole.
Mm.
Yeah, he cheated on you 6 ways to Sunday. Fuck him.
Yeah.
He's still a father of your child. Maybe don't do that in front of the kid. Maybe let him see the kid. Maybe do this. Maybe go to counseling together and see how y'all can co-parent in a way. You can't afford counseling? Okay, maybe y'all can go to church and talk to the pastor, seeing the way y'all can do it.
Not the Catholic Church. Um,
Shout out to the Baptist church. I ain't heard y'all doing it.
y'all just do
Y'all
it
cheating.
just the women,
Y'all just be
just yeah.
cheating.
But yeah,
Scandalous.
if you're more worried about the other parent versus worrying about your kid, you don't put your kid first. You're more worried about what they're doing or what they did to you. We're talking about you.
Yeah.
We're
Hit
talking
hit
about you.
dogs holler.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care because at the end of the day, there are these people out here.
Hmm.
There are people like that who take like he sees it as a business acquisition.
Hmm.
Found something that he's looking for the best investment for his dollar. and the
Yeah.
best that gives him the best return. And this is the way you get it. If I'm buying property, I'm not going to the best area that's well taken care of. I'm going to the
At the
area
high
that's,
rates.
yeah,
Yeah.
with the high rates. I'm going to the dilapidated
Mm.
area, one that I can take advantage of the area and make a big profit off of. The biggest profit I can off of. That's what I'm doing. So he's seeing that as this is his kid, your kids he talking about.
Mhm.
Cause he's just getting older. He's just gonna get dirtier.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
It ain't like they're gonna grow with
As
him.
much as he get away with it, it's gonna get more and more.
Cause he's not a
Yeah.
bad looking guy.
Mm,
He got money.
mm,
And the fact that he's doing this now,
mm,
the older he gets, it's just gonna get more depraved and it's
mm.
gonna get more no. It's just gonna get worse. Worse and worse. And like and if you are at a position where you are, because it's like the islands, I hear a lot more stories about grown women messing with young children.
Mhm.
I do hear those stories. Like if you're in a position where you're any woman or man looking at somebody who's under 20 and you're over 25, I said 25 to be nice.
Mm.
If you're over 21, that's how I feel. Like there's a distinction for a reason. 21 is when you can drink. 21 when you could do these things. Why isn't it legal? Why is it legal to drink at 21?
You
A
could die.
younger
You die for your country. 18.
or you
Yeah.
can fuck somebody. Like I mean, to me, 21. If you're gonna make it, keep that same energy. If they're old enough, 17 is old enough for you to die for your country.
Mm,
Why can't it be old enough to do other things?
mhm,
And I'm not arguing for the situation of having sex with young kids,
mm.
but I'm just saying, like, we have to find a way to come to terms with this stuff. But age wise, these are children. These are children, and at some point, the problem is the history of the world has been based on young children marrying old people. There'll
Oh
be
yeah, that's it's
12 year
always been.
olds
Well, as soon as they have their
menstruate.
as soon as they menstruate, then she's open for business. And it was she at least back in the day they would marry the woman. They would marry the young the girl.
Did I send you that? I didn't send you.
Yeah.
Did I send you the thing where somebody did a rundown of all the people in media, not media in
I saw it
Hollywood?
though. Woody
It was a ton of
Allen, and there's a
people.
bunch of them.
I was like,
Elvis
fuck.
Presley. Yeah, it was a bunch of people
Chubby,
that under.
not Chubby
It was
Checkers.
Chubby Checker.
It was somebody else. But it was a
Mm,
long
mm,
laundry list of people, and it was like 13,
mm,
14. And some of them like was it Steve Tyler? I'm not 1,000% sure. Don't quote me on that. Actually, don't quote me at all. I remember there was a rock star
mm.
who
There's a
had a
few rock stars.
child that he knocked up and he tried to kill her. Like
Oh wow, I never
like
saw
he like there's a whole book that came out about it. It was a whole thing.
it.
Um and he became her guardian.
Mm, mhm,
He paid for a guardianship from her parents. I think her parents were on drugs or something like
mhm,
that. I'm not and it was a whole thing. It's like some people's life experiences uh you never know. You'll never know people's life experiences. Like my friend that y'all met who y'all were like she hood as hell.
mm.
Um in Florida,
Yeah, yeah.
um she she had been raped. Her
Mm,
mom held a knife to her throat while she and paid for somebody paid to have sex with her. Like she's been through hell and back. And the fact that she was still who she was and she still was, I never that would have broke me. I
mhm,
don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I could have survived what she survived. People go through stuff all like and just understanding that the world is bigger than our own experiences. Um Not to say you got to put up with everything, you got to whatever, but understanding, empathizing matters. And I'm not saying that that gentleman didn't watch his daddy do it or it's something like maybe he
mm.
watched somebody take
Yeah,
advantage
maybe
of something.
that's a norm in his where he come from, his family or something like that.
Yeah. But I hope he gets arrested. I hope somebody comes like I hope if he is doing
If
that,
he is, because I mean,
his
they look at him.
terminology.
They look at him. At least look at him and see
His
who it is.
terminology
Yeah.
was very
Mm,
very sketchily.
mm,
Very
mm.
sketch. It
No, no,
wasn't
I
just
heard it. No, I heard the whole thing, and I don't like. Is one story that was disturbing. It had to do. I'm not. Oh, so I'm gonna like give you the short version of it. It had to do with the because we spoke about white women. It had to do with a white woman and her kids, her two daughters,
no.
and yeah, and how BBC was talked about and trying to show the daughters that this is what you do, and it was yeah. It
She
was
performed fellatio in front of daughters.
oh, it got worse. Yeah, but that
How
happened.
old were the
That got
daughters?
16, 17. So yeah. So and he was just like how he was talking about it, how he had joy in it. And I went over one time to the mother and the other daughter was gone away, and it was just a younger daughter. And and how she was she used to hurt her at first, but now she's loose. Any man that gets her is gonna be it. I'm telling you, it was yeah, it was yeah, bad. It was bad.
So at the end of this, the purpose of this video is to inform people, uh, and make people aware. Uh, it's not the fact that he said it; it's the fact that he said it.
Mm.
Like it's not the fact that Willie's saying the words to me; it's the fact that this man said this on camera, like nothing.
Oh yeah, he was like it like he brought him joy almost to say this stuff. Like, okay, this is what it is. It's and it was awesome. There's nothing better than young, and
Well, is he a part? Was he a part of the manosphere? Because I saw a lot of men talking
no, no,
about this.
maybe, but I don't know because I don't know him. I've never seen any of his videos up till now, but I know a lot of the guys in the manosphere, the black manosphere, they just went in on him. Like it was a
Yeah,
bunch of videos.
and I'm glad they did.
No,
I'm so glad they did because it was a few. Like I looked up some too, and it was like people had stuff to say. So I'm
Mhm.
glad they were as outraged. But I also want people to know that that grooming, he doesn't like he's gotten away with this so much that he doesn't think this is a problem. But there are people who know better and know this is a problem, and they're doing this stuff, and you have to be aware of that. Like you also just, I
No,
mean,
no, no. Nah, take that back. No, he knows it's a problem because he keeps talking about why he didn't get caught. He knows it's a problem. He knows it's a problem because he said that's why I don't get caught. He knows it's a problem because he said that's why the police don't knock on my door because I do this. I have something in place. He knows it's an issue. Mm-mm,
okay, I give you that.
mm-mm,
I don't. I
no.
mean, like,
Mm-mm,
but I just feel like his level of uh, there are people who more self-aware who will talk around it
mm.
better, I guess, who better communicate it so it doesn't sound like he did anything.
Okay.
This man sounded guilty from jump.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So not that he know the problem, but he just felt. So he no. This is the thing. I think he was looking at R. Kelly a certain way. He's trying to distinguish himself from R. Kelly and using language to try to show how he's not R. Kelly.
I feel like he went live. That had to be a live. Because
I
when
don't
you
know.
do
Yeah.
lives, you be
Yeah.
saying shit and you don't be thinking
Yeah. I
about
don't
it.
know. Yeah. I
He
don't
might have been focused on the R. Kelly part of it that he was just talking. That's why he couldn't have watched it again. And
know.
it was like he couldn't have edited this and loaded it. He couldn't have. It just couldn't have happened.
I don't know. I don't know.
It just couldn't have. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. It just couldn't have. Because the fact that, but the fact is, there are people who are way smoother than this that
Mm,
exist. And I will say this: it used to be like my friends, one of my friends' boyfriend, family has like they. It's hard for me to see this person because I heard this story and I'm judging, and I really try not to judge, but I'm lying to you because I'm judging the fuck out of him. But I try in my mind, but it's not successful. His uncle, his uncle or his grandfather, I forget. One of his family members had kids, and he had sex with all his kids, and one of them he's still in a relationship with, and he has his children. His grandchildren is his children with her. And everybody knows he's at the family reunion. They're there. They're being affectionate with
the
each other.
fuck.
Yes, it's a full thing, and nobody like everybody accepts it.
Mm,
That's amazing to me.
that's some Game of Thrones shit.
That's amazing to me. There's no way. And it's just, that's all I got. It's amazing that people are the way they are. Cause like the part of me, and I ain't gonna lie, cause I look at him and I'm like, but you sit with these people, you joke with these people.
Mm.
That's a problem. You're a part of the
Yeah,
problem.
you are sharing in their sin basically. If you know about it and you're upholding it, you're just as
He could
bad
call
as
the cops.
huh?
He could call the cops. He could call the
Yeah.
cops.
But it's just as bad. You're just as bad because you share. You know what's going on. You have knowledge of it. You see it go on or whatever, and you're not doing anything about it.
I just wouldn't fuck with them at all. I mean, I definitely would call the cops. I would. In my mind, I'm stopping and thinking about it because I'm like, maybe somebody did along the line,
And
and
nothing
maybe
happened.
nothing
Maybe not.
happens.
Yeah, it's possible. It's
Like,
possible.
so I'm not, but still, it's uncomfortable. It's
Mm.
an uncomfortable conversation that I have with this person because all I ever want to ask is, how did you like? Y'all go to Christmas together? Like that's why I want.
Y'all sit at the table with this person, break bread.
And they kiss.
Mm.
Oh, look, the mistletoe. Mwah. Yuck. That's all I can say. And I'm sorry that I'm not sorry. I want to shame them, and I want that to stop. Like this is not okay. That's not okay. So I don't have anything uh profound to say to end this.
Mm-mm.
I don't have anything funny to say to end this. Fuck. I don't know what to say because this shit is real. It's real. Like there are times where I would say this to the people, the audience, and listening, and to everybody who's listening. I would say this: if you are trying to figure out your own experiences in life, try to experience it through the lens of a child. Like switch places with somebody else, right? And say, all right, if this happened to that person, how would you feel? If this happens to that, you know what I mean? Like, and there, you, one, it gives it more perspective. Sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit, and two, it like humanizes the situation.
Mm.
Um, yeah, that nigga's sick. That's all I got.
Mm.
He's sick and he needs help, and anybody who surrounds him needs help as well. He needs to go to jail. That's what I got.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we could cut it because I put the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children cyber line, the cyber tip line. We've had a lot of girls missing, young women missing, men missing, showing up dead, and they're not children. A lot of them been of age, but
Hmm.
still,
There's a
we've had a
story that
lot
a
of
young
people.
man who is, I think, an archaeologist. He just showed up dead. He went missing for a few days and he showed up dead. Young black man.
Mm.
Just go hug some kids. Not in that way.
Yeah, no, please don't. Please, please. Hey, I don't have nothing to do with you.
I meant hug your child and be like,
Yeah,
I
thank you.
love you.
Hug your
That's what I
child
meant.
and
Who
let your
knew?
child know. Yes, please
Who
stop.
fucking knew? Don't do it. I meant hug your
Stop.
child. I'm gonna go hug my nieces and nephews and be like, look, if
Come here,
ever.
little kid. Let me hug you.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Stranger
Like
danger.
I can see that sound bite, just that little part.
Yep. Hug your. Go ahead, hug a
Go hug
child.
a child.
They
Go
told me to
put your
do
hands on
this.
the child. Oh Lord, that's fucking it. Shit.
That's it. Anyway,
God damn it.
we'll see y'all next week.
Nicole said, "Hug a child.
Hug a child.
Put your hands on the child." No, she didn't. I mean, hug the children in your life. Tell them you love them and make sure they understand that they don't have to do this
Mm.
and watch out for these kind of people. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Also educate because we don't talk about this enough with our children, right? Stuff like this. Back in the day, we used to hear that, right?
Yeah.
Don't say no to say no to drugs, stranger danger, if you see a what you call 'em, always be in a
Vigilant.
group,
Mhm.
be in a group of people, don't go no place by yourself,
Mhm.
watch out for the white van with the no windows and stuff like that. We just hear
Mhm.
that. You don't hear that no more. We see people doing TikToks about bullshit, and we don't we don't we
You know
don't
I hate TikTok.
yeah, I know. We don't get the real message, right? We don't give our kids the message. We too busy making sure they're happy. But are they safe? Are they safe? We too
Are they
busy,
mentally prepared for the world?
yeah.
There's so many different things we can talk about, but
Mhm.
at bare minimum, like make sure they understand that their sheer existence to some people is an opportunity to take advantage of them. That's it.
We gonna finish because I'm about to do something silly. And nah, I don't do it. Anyway.
Yeah, have a good one. See you next week.
All right, see y'all next week.